Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Book Readers Talks. We will talk to Dhwani Joyeshar today. She is joining us from Mumbai. Dhwani is a psychologist, a life coach, and a teacher. Let us talk to her. Hi, Dhwani.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome. Welcome to the show.
I'm really excited to be a part of it.
I would like to start by asking you about your love for reading. So,
Mhm.
how did it all begin?
Okay. So when I was in school, I was studying in the ICSE board. And as a part of our curriculum, we had a lot of reading to do. We had different plays, poems, and short stories to read. We also had novels that we had to read. So there was this particular novel that we had to read, The Enchanted Wood. I think it was in the seventh grade or so. And I just loved that novel so much. And I think from there, the love for reading started. And then we used to be surrounded by books all the time. We used to have scholastic book fairs, and our teachers really used to encourage us to read. So I think from there, it all started.
You were raised in an encouraging atmosphere for reading.
Yes, yes.
Great. You mentioned just now about this specific book that
Mhm.
sparked your interest in reading, but there are any other books which you love to read at that time?
Yes, so when I was in my teens, I used to enjoy reading rom-coms. And at that
Okay.
time, I was exposed to the Indian authors and their
Mhm.
rom-coms. I really used to enjoy reading those. And there was this particular book, I don't remember its name, but the author was Durjoy Datta. So it was a mix of rom-com, there was a drama and a lot of emotions. I remember there was a bomb blast involved in it. And
Oh,
that also increased my love for reading. It piqued my curiosity that okay, what else is out there? How many more stories are there? I need to know them all. So yes, I think that was what I was reading at that time, and also books like Narnia and Twilight. They
oh
were
yes.
trending at that time when we were in school. So
Mhm.
I had started reading those as well.
Okay, okay. Stephanie Meyer, I think, right?
Yes, yes.
So, what what genres of book do you enjoy the most?
So, rom-com is my go-to genre, I would say, because I really enjoy that, it is very predictable. Any book I will pick up, I know what's going to happen. But I really enjoy reading those books, whenever I'm looking for, say, comfort or I just want to relax, I go to rom-coms. Other than that, murder mysteries are something that I really enjoy,
Okay.
especially Agatha Christie books. I enjoy them. And also, now I don't know what genre to name, but it's a mixture of, say, psychology, magical realism, which give us a lot of life lessons through fiction.
Right.
That
Okay.
particular genre of books is something I really enjoy.
Okay. What role do books play in your life? Like, is it entertainment for you, or do they teach you anything or information like that?
Okay. So, first and foremost, they are a source of entertainment and relaxation for me. It
Mhm.
definitely is because whenever I'm reading a book, I am transported to that world. I was reading a particular book which was based in Spain, and for that, particular number of days, I was living in Spain. I could see the cathedrals and everything. So, yes, number one is a source of entertainment and relaxation. And I also learn a lot from these books. So, even if the book, it does not have anything to teach us outright, but I always pick up something or the other, especially on human behavior, on human psyche, because that is my, area of work. So I pick up on those things and I learn a lot of things. And if there's a quote I read and I start introspecting about it, that, okay, how does this apply to humans in general? How does it apply to my life? So, there are always tabs and underlined portions in my books because, yes, I do learn a lot from books, no matter which genre I'm reading. I will learn something or the other.
Great. Okay. Which author have you chosen today to speak about?
Okay, so the author that I'm going to talk about is Matt Haig. So, I haven't read a lot of books by him. I have read only one book by him. But the impact that book has left on me is so high. It was life changing, perspective changing that, like, I I can't find the exact words, but yes, that author has left a deep impact on me with just this one book. So of course I'm looking forward to read more books by this author. But yes, this is the author I'm going to talk about.
Okay, can you tell us something more about the author?
Yes, definitely. So I think the author chooses to write about topics which are emotionally heavy, which
Okay.
which will force you to think.
Mm.
They'll give you different perspectives about life. So that is something I really enjoy, and so that is why I really enjoyed the book that I will speak about. And I really like his writing style. Of course, again, it's just based on this one book, but how he has written the book. I mean, using simple words, but yet those words were so impactful, and dealing with such heavy themes of depression, suicide, with such sensitivity that it doesn't feel like, okay, I am being bombarded by some external information, but yet I could empathize with the character. So, yes,
Mm.
that is something I really enjoyed about the author.
That's really nice. Which book are you going to talk about today?
Okay, so I think I have become the brand ambassador for this book because wherever I go, I keep talking about this book. I'm a part of a book club, so I keep talking about this book. I recently had a chance to, give my suggestion that, okay, people should read these books. So I gave that suggestion, and my suggestion was put in the bookstore. So,
Oh,
yes, I feel really highly about this book. This book is called The Midnight Library.
okay. Okay, yes.
Yes.
I think it
So,
was published at the COVID times.
yes, I'm not sure about that, but I read it recently. I read it in 2022. And since then, I
Okay.
can't stop talking about it. I can't stop raving about it because it is just, it is too good.
So, you tell us about the plot. I
Yes, yes,
mean, giving any spoilers, of course.
yes, of course. So the book starts with, so there is this character who is going through depression, and she has reached a point where she can't take it anymore. Nothing is working for her. So she decides to end her life. Okay? And, you know, immediately after her passing away, she doesn't go to hell or heaven or, any those concepts. She reaches a library. So this
Oh, okay.
library is the place which is between life and death.
Mhm.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, it's lovely. And the library is full of books. Okay. And it's 12 o'clock in the night. That is why it's called the Midnight Library. Now, what are these books about? These books are all the life stories that have happened, that could have happened, all the missed opportunities of this main character.
Wow.
Okay. So now this
It sounds
character was, it was lovely. So this main character, of course, she was not happy with her life. So she was
Mhm.
talking to the librarian that, what if I had done this differently? What if I had done that differently? Maybe I wouldn't be this unhappy with my life. So that is when the librarian says that, okay, you know what? Pick up any book. Let's see
Mhm.
what will happen if you had done this differently. So, this character was really good with this one particular sport when she was in school. But then her father passed away, so she left pursuing that sport, wherein she had the chance. She was so good. She had the chance to be at the Olympics and win and so on, and make her career in that direction. But she stopped because she couldn't cope up with it. So that particular book, when she picks up, she sees how her life turns out to be. And again, there are some struggles she's facing, even though she's picked up that career. There are certain challenges she's facing. There are some things which make her feel unhappy. Then there is one possibility she thinks of, that, what if I hadn't broken up with my boyfriend and I was married to him and I had a family? What would my life look like? So she reads that book as well. And she realizes that, okay, she's not happy with that person. So there's a reason she broke up with that person. And it was actually for the best that happened. So there are multiple scenarios that take place. In one, she is this particular kind of scientist who goes to Antarctica to conduct some research. So there are lots of chapters based on these what ifs, on these scenarios. And throughout these different scenarios, and of course, by the end of the book, we realize that the life that we have right now is the life that is best for us. Whatever decisions we make them for a reason. We are sometimes we are aware of them and sometimes we are not. They happen at a subconscious level. But they take place for a reason. If the decision doesn't work out, you learn something from them. And if it works out, it's best for you. But what life we have right now is best for us. And if we keep thinking, what if, what if, what if? See, when we think what if, we only think about the good things. Even right now, if I think that, what if I didn't pick up psychology and teaching as my profession? What if I'd become a doctor? And it all seems very rosy and very lovely to me. I am not able to comprehend the challenges that I would face then. So that is something I really liked about the book. It gave me that perspective, is that we shouldn't let ourselves get entangled in these what ifs. We shouldn't have these regrets that what if I had done that? What if this had happened? It did not happen for a reason. And now what we have, we should enjoy that. We should make the most of that and keep moving forward. So that is why this book left a really huge impact on me, because I kept thinking about it for a long time. And, I speak with a lot of clients, I talk to my friends, and I have noticed this theme that, what if this never happened? I would have been a different person. What if this didn't happen? My life would be different. So that I'm seeing in reality that so many people are holding on to these what ifs, to these regrets. That is why I keep recommending this book to everyone, that it will give you this perspective that what you have right now is the best for you. Of course, you can make better decisions for the future, but what you have right now is the best for you. So don't hold regrets over the past.
When we read a book, we read a book because we like the language, or we get transported somewhere because of that. So how is the language of this book, and which lines did you like from that?
Okay, so this book is written in English, and the language of the book is, as I said, it's really simple. There are not a lot of fancy words involved that, if maybe a beginner is reading or someone who is not that well versed with English is reading, that, they might find difficulty. So that way it's really good. But, the way the author has used these simple words, it's really beautiful how the author
Okay.
has stringed together some words and created that impact. It's really, really beautiful. Like when the character was transporting to the different worlds, even I was transporting to those words. So that was the way the language played the role in the book. And about the quotes in the books that really touched me, there are multiple quotes. Like if I don't have this book with me right now, I have lent it to someone. But if you see this book, there are multiple tabs, multiple pages underlined, because all these quotes were so
Okay.
important. But this particular quote I really enjoyed, and I will read it out.
Sure.
We only need to be one person, We only need to feel one existence. We don't have to do everything in order to be everything because we are already infinite. While we are alive, we always contain a future of multifarious possibility. So,
This is a
yes, what I took from the book and this quote, it really, I just love this quote. And also, there's one more quote which I would like to read out.
yeah,
Never
sure.
underestimate the big importance of small things.
Oh, okay.
Again, all the
Quite deep.
small, yes, all the small decisions that we are taking, all those decisions are building up our life. This
Mhm.
your decision to start this talk show and my decision to be over here, we never know how that is going to impact our lives in future, but it definitely
Right.
will. So I really love this quote.
Thank you. Great. Thank you for sharing. And I think the author uses a lot of metaphors in the book, right?
Yes, yes.
So can you tell us about them?
Sure. So in one of the scenarios when the main character is she's exploring her life as a scientist, and she has gone to Antarctica to conduct research, and there is this huge bear. Okay, and
Mhm.
she is in very close proximity to the bear. Okay, and she
Okay.
has to save herself, but she doesn't have a lot of weapons or equipments. I think she has this one particular gun, and that is it, but she doesn't know how to use the gun. So she is trapped with that bear. She is working on her survival, which reflects her the life she was living when she was alive before she ended her life. That all the
Mhm.
problems were like this bear. She was surrounded by them. She was trapped with them. Every day was such a struggle for her that she was in the survival mode. And even the few strategies or thought processes she might have had to deal with those situations, she was not able to use them, or maybe they just didn't work anymore. But in the end, in that scenario, she did figure out a way to get out of the situation and save herself from the bear. So that was quite
Yeah,
wonderful, the metaphor that the author had used.
it's really, really nice. This author uses alternate reality in this
Yes,
fiction, right? So,
yes.
what are your thoughts about that?
So I think as a genre, I love reading about these things because another book I had read, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, even they have the alternate reality or magical realism or something like that. And I enjoy it because it helps us explore the thoughts that most of us usually do have.
Mhm.
Like even the what ifs. I Even I think many a times, what if I had pursued my career as a doctor? Maybe I'd become a
Mhm.
physiotherapist or a speech therapist, but what if I had done that?
Mhm.
Many a times I think that what if I could go in the past and change one particular thing? So when we read about these things, first it makes you feel that you are not alone. Many people are having these kinds of thoughts. And it helps you see, now I can't actually go back in the past, or I can't, work on all my what ifs. I can't
Mhm.
see right now what if I'd become a doctor, what my life would be. But when you read these things in the book, it helps you explore and it gives you the perspective you need, that you
Yeah.
can't do anything about it now. Even if you keep
Yeah.
thinking, nothing is going to
Mhm.
change. Even if you go back into the past and, you may be able to see some things, you may be able to think about some things that have happened. You can't change anything. So this entire concept of, alternate reality, I really enjoy reading about.
Okay, yeah. In which languages do you read books, Bunny?
Okay. So I read in English. I have tried
Mhm.
reading in Hindi, but somehow that doesn't create an impact on
Okay.
me. Like if I, as I was saying, when I read in English, I'm transported to that world. I read with a lot of ease. But when I'm reading in Hindi, it doesn't create the same impact. Like I tried reading, but I still felt like, okay, I'm in school and I have to read this for my exam. That was the feeling I was getting. Then I stopped reading in Hindi. And in
Mhm.
reading, Another language I know how to read is Gujarati, but again, I'm not so fluent in that language that, I can read and absorb the material which is there. And yes, one language I'm learning right now is German. But again, I'm not so fluent that I can read novels yet. So, but I do hope to read in German someday. But currently, my major language for reading is English.
English. Okay, okay, nice. Dhwani, does it happen to you that you start reading a book and you leave it halfway because for whatever reason, and you go back to it, you start reading it again, but you still again leave it halfway. So has it happened to you?
It has happened multiple times. So, as I said, I read to enjoy the process. I don't feel like, that, okay, this is the book that everyone is talking about, or, this book is a classic, so you should read it. Or I don't read for any particular reason other than that, just to enjoy it. So there are multiple books which I started, but I wasn't transported to that world. I couldn't relate with the characters, or the story just got boring for me. Okay, so like recently, I
Mhm.
thought, let's read some classics. Okay,
Okay.
so I know what's going on in the book world. So I bought. There was this book fest, so I bought a lot of classics from there. I bought Three Men in a Boat. I bought Pride and Prejudice, Wuthering Heights, and
Oh,
Great Gatsby. I bought all those books. So first I started reading Three Men in a Boat because also I had a few chapters from the book in school that we used to read. So I had enjoyed it then. So I thought, let's start with something that I know a little of. And after reading a few chapters, I got really bored because I just couldn't connect to that time or the stories that were there. So I kept it for a while. Then I thought, maybe I'll pick it up later, but I couldn't continue it. The same happened with Wuthering Heights. There is this show that I watch, and even the character in the show reads Wuthering Heights. I'm like, okay, now let me read that book. I think I've read half of the book, but again, I just cannot connect. It's also the language. Like even in English, a lot of change has happened. How the authors used to write then and now. So
right.
I think that I'm not able to relate with that particular form of English and how they lived their lives. So I realized that, all those classics are not for me. The contemporary books are more my thing. So yes, it happens a lot of times that I pick up a few books and I'm not able to finish them. Earlier, I used to feel very maybe guilty about it, or maybe shameful that why am I not able to finish this? I should read this. But then I said, there's no point in forcing yourself when you are reading to enjoy and being transported to a different world. If you're not enjoying the book, it shouldn't feel like a punishment that, okay, now I have to finish this book somehow. So slowly I've
Okay.
embraced that it's okay if you leave a book halfway, it's fine.
Okay. And has it happened to you that you reread the books?
Yes, yes, it has happened. So Enchanted Wood, which I had read in school, I reread it recently. Also, this particular book I had read in lockdown and I really enjoyed it. So I read it, I had read an online form of that book. I enjoyed it so much. I bought a hard copy and I read it again. So there are some books which I enjoy reading again and again, but those books don't usually have a heavy theme or they're not extremely thought provoking that I can read them again. I like to reread all the lighter books. So that is it.
Okay.
I would like to know more from you. How has your reading journey been? What genres you enjoy? And if there's any particular quote or particular story that has stuck with you?
Oh, you caught me off guard. Well, I love reading classics, unlike you.
Mhm.
And since I have been into the German language for a long time, I, of
Mhm.
course, love to read German. I equally enjoy English and Marathi as well. So, except science fiction, I think I enjoy reading everything. I mean, that science fiction has to really, transport me somewhere. Only then I will read. But otherwise, I read everything that comes my way. And I also finish them halfway sometimes, just leave it. Even I used to feel guilty, but thanks to you, now I will not feel guilty. And I reread books by Ranjit Desai, Ratnakar Matkari, Marathi authors,
Mhm.
and English authors, Mark Twain, then Dostoevsky, of course, in English. I don't
Okay.
know Russian. I mean, there are
Mhm.
many authors, so I usually start reading a new book, I finish it, and then I go back to old books. So that is my
Oh,
pattern. Jan.
wow. That's interesting.
Thank you.
Mm.
And I love to talk about it, and that's why the podcast.
Yes. I've noticed something that, people who start reading, we just need a chance then to talk about our love for reading or any particular book because they
Yes.
like I think it's just such a different feeling that we want to share it with like-minded people.
Right. Even if they don't have that, they don't share the same thoughts, we still like to talk about it.
Yes,
And like
exactly.
you belong to a book club, even I belong to a
Mhm.
few book clubs in Pune. So they
Okay.
are really, and there is a lot of exchange. So
Yes,
that's good.
yes,
You were saying something.
as you mentioned Dostoevsky. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, it's correct.
Yes. So I have never read his works, but a friend of mine from the book club has read, and he's a huge fan. So even though I've not read, he talks about it, and I learn so much from him. As you were saying, there's a lot of exchange of ideas, and
Mm.
we grow a lot that way.
Yes, and there is no mental block then. I mean,
Yes,
sometimes we have blocks that I'll not read this author or that genre,
yes,
but then slowly they get removed.
yes.
Like I had this mental block of not reading about wildlife or these things.
Hmm.
But my
Okay.
husband and another friend also,
Hmm.
she helped me remove this block and read about it. So Jim
Yeah.
Corbett, because of them.
Wow. That's really nice. I think I experienced something similar. The same friend
Mm.
from the book club, he said, you should really read this book. I think The Shadow of the Wind. That is the book which is based in Spain. And I
Oh
told him
yes.
that, I don't usually read these kinds of books, so I don't know how it will be. You should give it a try. I really think you will enjoy it. So I said, all right. And once I started reading it, I couldn't keep it down. And I loved that book so much. And I thanked him. Like it's because of you that I explored this genre and I loved it so much. Otherwise, I would have had this blog that okay, I don't read these books and I would never know how great they are.
Oh, that's amazing. So this was a wonderful discussion, Dhwani.
Yes.
Even
Yes,
I
I
got to
enjoyed it a
exchange a
lot.
few ideas with you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
And see you again with a new book.
Yes, yes, I'll definitely be there. I enjoyed so much. I'm definitely going to be back.
Great, great. Thank you so much. See you again. Have a
Yes,
nice day.
you too.
Yeah, bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining me in conversation with Dhwani. See you in the next episode with a new guest, and let's see which book he picks up to talk about. Till then, have a good day and bye bye.